Welcome to the fifth episode of Well, Lyrically Speaking.
Tied inferences made by artists, singers, and songwriters. We are your hosts
Dyuti Agarwal.
and Kesar Behal, doing something a little different than our usual episodes.
Now, as you know, commonly we deep dive into our favorite songs and understand the meaning behind lyrics. But today we've decided to look into how AI is changing the music industry.
It's crazy how fast AI is evolving, right? Like just a few months ago, we were blown away by AI art and simple text generators.
And now we're talking about AI composing music that sounds like real artists. It's like every week there's some new mind boggling AI thing.
Truly, it's wild to think about where we'll be in like another year.
The first thing on our agenda for today's meeting is the Drake and the Weeknd AI song, which was released April 4th, 2023. So,
Right.
Ghostwriter 977, who is an anonymous TikTok user, created an AI generated song with vocals made to sound like Canadian musicians Drake and The Weeknd through the use of artificial intelligence. The song was self released on April 4th, 2023, on various streaming platforms like Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
That is indeed a commendable job. I feel like considering that on one hand, it's a testament to how far AI has come, the vocals were uncanny,
Mhm.
but on the other hand, it raises a whole lot of, host of questions about copyright,
Yeah,
authenticity, and also like the future of the music industry. I
right.
feel like a very important question to consider is that is this the future where artists are replaced by algorithms, or is it a tool that can actually enhance creativity? I feel like it's a very debatable topic. It's a
Right.
very controversial one.
Yeah, and I actually paid a listen to this song, and the level of detail in replicating the artist's vocal styles were unreal. The melody, the
Hmm.
rhythm, even the emotional tone, it was as if Drake and The
Yeah,
Weeknd had actually collaborated. The lyrics
yeah,
were also surprisingly coherent, and they were also touching on themes familiar to both artists: love, loss, and fame. But
yeah.
what I found a little bit more intriguing is the reaction it sparked. What do you think about this?
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like it kind of ignited a debate about like the future of music, as we spoke before, as I
Right.
mentioned before, and copyright issues and like the blurred lines between human creativity and artificial intelligence.
So I think AI as a tool, like we mentioned before, AI initially was just something that allowed us to get responses or answer our
Hmm.
questions or even AI art, but
Yeah,
now it's actually creating music that sounds exactly like
yeah,
an artist. So I think it forces us to question what it means to be an artist in an age where AI can basically mimic your voice and style with such precision. And I've seen all around like
yeah.
YouTube and whatever and TikTok that there's also AI
Hmm.
versions, if not completely accurate, at least 90%
Hmm.
accurate, of artists
Yeah,
covering songs in other languages, or even covering songs of artists they have, well, public beef with. So I
yeah.
think it's very, I think while it can be really helpful in some cases, obviously,
Hmm.
it can
Yeah,
be extremely destructive, and especially in the field of music and
I
performance,
agree. Yeah, yeah,
entertainment.
yeah,
Now, second on our list is once again Drake. There's a lot of Drake mentions in today's episode.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
secondly, what we're going to be discussing is Drake using AI to diss Kendrick Lamar. So, we're all familiar with the world famous rap battle going on that went
Yeah.
on between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. So, after Kendrick's release of Like That, Drake follows up
Hmm.
with Push Ups. And this caused a flood
Right.
of rumors, with fans wondering whether it was made by him or was perhaps the work of generative artificial intelligence.
Right. And as we mentioned before, a TikTok user created an AI-generated song with Drake and The Weeknd's voices called Heart on My Sleeve. And to be doing that, one needs a deep knowledge and understanding about the production of music. That's what I personally
Right.
feel. And the anonymous musician created the beats and raps, which were like then run through an open source deepfake filter to mimic the vocals of Drake and The Weeknd. Isn't that so crazy?
Right, and I remember recently I watched this YouTube video as well
Yeah,
that kind of delved into how this TikTok user created an AI song using Drake and The Weeknd's voices, and it was really fascinating because, like you mentioned, you need to have understanding about the production of music. So
yeah, yeah,
the video I saw, the guy kind of produced the beats of the song from scratch,
right,
and then
right.
to create Drake's voice, you need
Mm-hmm.
to also make sure when you're recording the song, when you're singing it, before running it through the deepfake filter, you need to have the kind of voice that Drake has when he's singing his songs. So
Yeah.
I think it's not entirely the work of AI here, but we really
Mm-hmm.
give credit to the TikTok user as well. Anyway,
Right.
moving along. So on April 15th, the cycle resumed when a response from Kendrick Lamar appeared online. One Shot, a song that was phony, obviously. In the end, a rapper from Los Angeles claimed credit for the trick, posting recordings of his process. Before passing his voice through a Kendrick Lamar vocal filter, he produced and rapped the song in the traditional manner. Like I mentioned, that's how the ghostwriter 977 created the song as well.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like in many ways, a rap beef is fertile ground for AI impersonation. I feel
Mhm.
like rappers typically do not release their songs through the record company, and instead they are frequently found online in preliminary or unfinished versions, and
Right.
they typically prioritize, insults and jabs over songwriting. And nobody anticipates a flawless Drake hook and well executed production on a fast paced track, you know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And consequently, after dropping Tailor Made Freestyle on his official Instagram, Drake was met with questions right away. The song opened with the late rapper Tupac criticizing Kendrick Lamar with a tone that sounded a lot like Drake. Drake
Yeah,
utilized push ups to rap in personas as Tupac and Snoop Dogg, following prior rumors that the song had been created using deepfake technology.
yeah.
So, Tupac's estate responded to Drake's release of Tailor Made Freestyle within a week. And the estate's
Mm-hmm.
attorney, which is Howard King, asked that the song be taken down, calling it, quote unquote, a blatant abuse of the legacy of one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. In a cease and desist letter, this just gets better and better, that Billboard was able to receive. And after that,
Oh,
finally, Drake removed the song from all social media pages.
oh, that is
I
fascinating.
I know, I still think it's like completely insane using Tupac and Snoop Dogg, which are rumored to be Kendrick Lamar's like idols that he takes
Yeah,
inspiration from, using them in a
yeah.
song to diss Kendrick Lamar himself has
It's
got to take
crazy.
guts. It's got to
Yeah.
take guts.
Okay, the last topic on our agenda today is using AI to resurrect voices of dead artists. So, Edith Piaf's the original singer of La Vie en Rose. The estate is partnering with Warner Music Group to create an animated 19-minute biopic called Edith. Her voice and image will be regenerated extensively by using AI. What do you have to say about this?
So the music company said while announcing the project that animation will provide a modern take on her story, while the inclusion of archival footage, stage and TV performances, personal footage, and TV interviews will provide audiences with an authentic look at the significant moments of Piaf's life.
According to Warner Music, AI technology trained on hundreds of Piaf's voice clips and images, some of which are over 80 years old, that
Oh
will
my.
allow for her distinct voice, quote unquote, and image to be revived to further enhance the authenticity and emotional impact of her story. Recordings from her original songs will be used in the film, including iconic hits such as La Vie en Rose and Je ne regrette rien.
So, Kesar, what do you think about AI as a whole, separate from how it's impacting the music industry?
I think the use of AI be it for music or simply to generate responses or make artificial artworks, is a very complicated engine. And I think that it offers tremendous potential in all sorts of fields, be it creative or practical. It can simplify access, inspire new styles, and automate mundane tasks.
However, don't you think that concerns can arise over originality, job displacement, and even potential biases in AI generated content? So,
Yeah.
overall, striking a balance between human creativity and AI assistance is crucial for harnessing its benefits responsibly and, of course, using it for the better good of humanity. So, all in all,
Right.
these technologies will obviously raise all sorts of concerns. Because obviously, these technologies raise all sorts of concerns. If AI can create a Drake song instantaneously, what does that mean for Drake? Or even Abel Tesfaye, who is The Weeknd, or all other aspiring musicians out there who fear that they're being replaced?
Okay, I feel like an important aspect to consider is that should AI companies be allowed to train their large language models on songs without their creators' permissions? Right, so I feel like an important aspect to consider is that should AI companies be allowed to train their large language models on songs without their creators' permission? I feel like artificial intelligence engines are already being used to summon the voices of the dead. As we discussed before, in a DPL5 pick, for example, will include a reassembled AI created version of their voice. Now, without further ado, we declare our fifth episode of Well, Lyrically Speaking, as complete.
But before we leave our listeners, we have a question for you all to ponder upon until the next episode. You can leave your answers in the comments. How will our understanding of memory and legacy change if any voice throughout history can be reanimated?
That's a good question.
Until next time, overly analytical folks.